The Retriever Nation presents Dog Nutrition 101. Hi, this is Terry from the Retriever Nation. A passion of mine is nutrition, so I'm always reading food labels. Why should it be any different for my dogs? Having recently earned my certification in pet nutrition, I want to share with you what I've learned. Join me for this new playlist, Dog Nutrition 101, where we'll dive deeply into what you're feeding Fido. We'll cover macro and micronutrients, antioxidants, the tricks of the trade, and even a little something called the salt divider. By the end, you'll decipher a label like a pro. Are you ready? I promise you'll be surprised by what you learn. In Volume 1, we'll cover packaging and antioxidants. But before we begin, do you know how commercialized dog food got started? Would you believe with a lightning rod? The canine has had to scavenge for scraps for most of history, but that all changed in 1860. An Ohio electrician named James Spratt journeyed overseas to London selling lightning rods. While visiting the docks, he noticed sailors throwing stale biscuits to the dogs below, giving Spratt a bright idea. He created a cake of flour, vegetables, beetroot, and meat and launched the first commercial dog food. Spratt's dog biscuit cakes became wildly successful and one of the most heavily advertised products of the 20th century. Fast forward 150 years, the pet food industry is still one of the most heavily advertised products. In the U.S. alone, over 11 million tons are sold annually, with earnings surpassing $12 billion. That's with a capital B. To preserve the nutrients in dog food, manufacturers spend a significant amount of money on quality packaging. In the U.S. alone, the pet food packaging market is expected to reach $4.83 billion by 2026. High-quality, heat-resistant products with good barrier properties that are inexpensive yet long-lasting are required. Shelf life of packaged food is typically 6 months to 2 years. All products have a best before date, but manufacturers do not need to disclose a packaged on date. Avoid transferring food to see-through containers or exposing to open air. This increases the rate at which fats in the food spoils. Fatty acids, a crucial part of every dog food, are subject to breakdown and become rancid. All fats oxidize once the bag is open, some faster than others. Antioxidants are added as a preservative to extend shelf life. There are two classifications of antioxidants, natural and artificial. This is where it's going to get interesting. To help you remember these, I'm linking a printable antioxidant list below. Use it to check your dog food label. But before we start, I first want you to know that the EPA claims dogs are more sensitive to products than humans. Keep that in mind while we run through this list. First up are butylated hydroxyanisole and butylated hydroxytoluene. Though generally recognized as safe by the U.S. FDA, both BHA and BHT are human endocrine disruptors. BHA, considered a human carcinogen, has multiple studies linking it to GI issues, skin irritation, kidney damage, reproductive disorders, and cancer. Several nutritional experts endorsing pet food manufacturers believe BHA should not be in any food. BHT is listed only as a hazardous substance. It's linked to cancer, has toxic effects on the liver, lungs, kidney, blood, and reproductive system. Both promote tumor growth and impair blood clotting. The WHO has named them suspicious cancer-causing compounds, which Japan, Europe, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand have banned. Though ethoxyquin has been FDA approved for pet food for decades, it's not approved for human consumption, except for minute doses in paprika and chili powder. Ethoxyquin is a registered pesticide developed by Monsanto and a hardening agent for synthetic rubber. It may damage DNA, leading to kidney and liver damage, immune deficiency syndrome, blindness, and cancer. An impurity sometimes found in ethoxyquin can cause animal mutations when too much is ingested. Though most premium food manufacturers use far less than the maximum recommended amount, it is unlikely you will find a food that does not contain it. Since it presents in the sources of meat and fats used and not added, it does not need to be listed as an ingredient. The allowable amount in human food is 5 parts per million, but for animals the amount increases to 150 parts per million. Studies state that ethoxyquin is safe, yet no studies past 90 days have been done. And though the jury is still out in the U.S., Australia doesn't allow its use in dog food, and the European Commission suspended use for all animal species in 2017. Tertiary butylhydroquinone. The National Library of Medicine has found TBHQ to cause liver enlargement, damage to DNA, neurotoxic effects, convulsions, and paralysis in laboratory animals. Derived from petroleum, TBHQ is a form of butane, equivalent to lighter fluid. Long-term exposure, such as feeding the same artificial preservative in a food on a daily basis, may lead to other cancers. There have been no long-term safety studies of TBHQ in dog food. Benzoic acid and sodium benzoate are used as antimicrobial food preservatives. They can cause itchy, inflamed skin, rashes, and may cause cancer. Now let's whiz through the list of natural antioxidants. But before we do, I want to ask, if you're finding value in this video, please like, subscribe, and consider sharing. I truly appreciate it, and doing so tells me you enjoy the content I'm posting. Natural antioxidants or preservatives are susceptible to heat, so they offer a shorter shelf life. Vitamin E is listed as mixed tocopherols and is technically recycled synthetic restaurant grease. We'll learn more about this in upcoming episodes. Rosemary extract is considered GRAS, though there is some debate over the safety of acetone methane used to extract the oil. Citric acid, or ascorbate, is synthetic vitamin C and also recognized as GRAS. Note, if you have a dog prone to bloat, kibble containing citric acid increases the risk of bloat by 320% if you pre-moisten before feeding. Calcium propionate is an antifungal used to reduce the possibility of mold and aerobic sporulating bacteria. A possible side effect is mucous membrane and GI irritation. Propylene glycol reduces moisture, retains texture, and prevents bacteria. Propylene glycol itself is not considered natural. It transforms from one chemical to another using ethylene glycol or antifreeze, making it extremely toxic to animals, causing damage to the kidneys, central nervous system, and cancer. Because it causes serious types of blood disease, the FDA has banned use in cat food, but unfortunately not in dog food. Natural antioxidants are definitely a safer choice than artificial ones, but you can see how reading the label and knowing what's in your dog food is still essential. Now that you know the preservatives in dog food, you might begin to question other ingredients. Well, to be honest, you should, and we'll get there soon enough. But no matter how premium of a feed you use, for ideal nutrition, you need to supplement. Why? When a wolf eats its prey in the wild, they consume the gut contents, a primary source of pre- and probiotics, digestive enzymes, and B vitamins. Dog food, even the most premium, does not have these. The high heat processing destroys them. Furthermore, the oxide and sulfate forms of vitamins sprayed onto the kibble after processing are not absorbed or synthesized nearly as well, but we'll cover this soon too. We supplement with Sports Dog Phytovite by Doctor's Choice Supplements. Its organic trace minerals and vitamins absorb significantly more, which shows in the dog's hair, skin, coat, cognitive performance, joints, and gut health. And good health starts from the inside out. For a 10% discount, use code TRN. We've only just scratched the surface. Next up, we'll find out how palatability is determined and who is or isn't regulating this multi-billion-dollar industry. I promise you'll be surprised by what you learn. By the time you're through Dog Nutrition 101, your eyes will be open and you'll be reading ingredient labels like a pro. Until next time, this is Terry at The Retriever Nation.